You had one last night, an entire dream, a whole world that felt completely, totally real while you were inside it. There were people in it, places, something was happening, a story unfolding, and you were living it. And then you woke up, and within about a minute, maybe two, it started to dissolve. You could feel it slipping. You reached for it, tried to hold on to the details, and they ran through your fingers like water. By breakfast, it was gone, not blurry, gone. You do this almost every single night of your life. You dream for years, and you remember almost none of it. So, where does it all go? Now, most people assume this is just normal forgetting, that a dream is a weak, flimsy memory, and weak memories fade. Simple. But that's not what's happening. Because think about how vivid a dream is while you're in it. It's not faint, it's a full sensory experience. You see it, you feel it, emotions and all. A memory that intense should stick. When something dramatic happens to you while you're awake, you remember it for years. So the real question isn't, why is the memory weak? The real question is far stranger. Why does your brain take one of the most vivid experiences you have and erase it on purpose? Because that's closer to what's actually going on. And it's not one reason, it's a stack of them. The first reason is chemical. To turn an experience into a memory you can recall later, your brain relies on certain chemicals. One of the most important is called norepinephrine. Think of it as the brain's pay attention, save this signal. When norepinephrine is flowing, your brain flags an experience as important and files it away. Here's the thing. During the stage of sleep where you have your most vivid dreams, REM sleep, the level of norepinephrine in your brain drops dramatically. It goes quiet, almost silent. So picture the situation. Your brain is generating this rich cinematic dream, but the exact chemical it needs to record that dream has been switched off. The experience is playing in full color, but nobody's hitting record. The show goes on, the tape is blank. This is why you can wake up mid-dream, know for a fact you were just deep in one, and still be completely unable to say what it was. The memory was never properly written because the chemistry required to write it wasn't there. The second reason is about a specific part of your brain going offline. At the very front of your brain sits the prefrontal cortex. It's the part responsible for logic, planning, decision making, and crucially, for organizing and retrieving memories in a way that makes sense. It's the manager, the one who keeps the files in order. While you dream, the prefrontal cortex powers way down. It essentially clocks out for the night. And this explains so much about dreams at once. It's why dreams are so illogical. You can be in your childhood home that's somehow also an airport, talking to someone who is three people at the same time, and it all feels completely normal. The part of your brain that would say, wait, this makes no sense, is asleep. But it's also why you can't hold on to the dream afterward. The manager who's supposed to file the experience into orderly, retrievable memory wasn't at their desk. So even the fragments that did get recorded were never properly organized. When you wake up and go looking for them, there's no filing system to search. The memory, if it's there at all, has no address. So stack those two together and you get the third idea. While you're dreaming, your brain is running without a save button. When you're awake and something happens, your brain runs a process to move that experience into long-term storage, a kind of saving that locks the memory in. During dreaming, that process is largely offline. The dream is happening in what you could think of as temporary memory. Live, vivid, real time, but not being written to the hard drive. And temporary memory has a brutal rule. If it isn't saved, it's overwritten. The moment you wake up and your brain floods back with real sensory input, light, sound, the feeling of your bed, the thought of your day, That new information writes right over the fragile, unsaved dream. This is exactly why the single best way to remember a dream is to stay completely still, with your eyes closed the instant you wake, and replay it immediately. You're desperately copying it out of temporary memory before the day overwrites it. Wait even 30 seconds. Start thinking about your alarm or your phone, and it's gone for good. But here's the part that flips the whole thing around, because so far we've treated this like a flaw, a limitation, your brain failing to save something valuable. What if it's the opposite? What if forgetting isn't a bug? What if it's the entire point? There's a fascinating idea in neuroscience about what dreams might be for. One line of thinking is that during sleep, your brain is essentially doing housekeeping, sorting through the enormous flood of information from your day, deciding what to keep and what to throw away. In this view, dreams might be a byproduct of your brain shuffling and pruning memories, cleaning out the clutter so the important stuff has room to consolidate. And if that's true, then remembering your dreams would actually defeat the purpose. The dream is the trash being taken out. You're not supposed to keep it. A brain that vividly remembered every dream might be a brain drowning in noise, clogged with random, meaningless recombinations of the day. So the forgetting isn't a failure of the system. The forgetting might be the system working exactly as designed. Your brain erases your dreams because a clean slate is the whole goal. We don't know this for certain. Dream science is still full of open questions, but it reframes that lost dream this morning completely. It might not be something you lost. It might be something your brain deliberately let go. So why do some dreams survive? Notice the ones you do remember. They're almost always the intense ones. The nightmare that jolted you awake, the dream so emotional it snapped that norepinephrine signal back on for a moment, or the dream you happened to wake up in the middle of, catching it before the overwrite, or the ones you deliberately grabbed and replayed the second you opened your eyes. Every remembered dream is one that beat the system, one way or another. So the next time you wake up with the ghost of a dream already dissolving and you can't quite catch it, remember what's actually happening in there. It's not that your brain was too weak to save it. It's that the chemical was switched off. The manager had clocked out. The save button was disabled. And maybe, just maybe, your brain was never trying to keep it in the first place. You lived an entire world last night, and your brain, quietly and deliberately, wiped it clean to make room for today.